see the Brian Ruffner on the outside get hit in the back, and then Michael Docken gets turned around and get hit by the 10 truck.
Mark Petty, the 10 truck involved. Docken comes down across right in front of Travis Quapple, who had nowhere to go. He was down on the bottom minding his own business. Rich Woodland became involved. David Starr, who had gone to the back. Starr's the 41 truck, the white truck in the middle of your screen spinning around. He had gone to the back of the starting grid because of...
3 wide.
Whoa! One truck and across the grass will come down pit road.
Derek Pope, the 86 Dodge. Nathan's running by himself to truck. You can see the truck get loose, and around it goes. Lance Nork was able to get by on the high side, but I think when Randy McDonald comes along, there's nowhere to go. He went to the high side. That's where Nathan was, and unfortunately made some pretty significant contact.
Randy McDonald, the former
replay.
Here's the latest one.
Just like he got forced up high by Chuck Hosfeld in the 50 truck, and it put him. Exact same thing happened as what happened with him and Jack Sprague. But in order to not hit Scott Ricks, who's on the outside, he jerked the thing left and lost the back end.
That is 24-year-old rookie Chuck Hosfeld out of Ransomville, New York. Now for London Amix onboard camera. Spark plug, so
there he is right in between the 14 and the 75. It looks like there may have been contact. We didn't see it from that angle between he and Billy Bigley in the 75 truck, but fortunately not a great deal of contact. Kept it out of the wall, so he ought to be able to get 4 fresh good years and be able to go again.
Different angle for Mark Petty, the 31-year-old Randleman, North Carolina driver, just trying to get it gathered back in, and it spins, and hello, concrete.
Just ran out of racetrack, unfortunately.
He said, you know, he had been spending the last 4 or 5 years building engines, and when his grandfather...
In the 94 trying to get under him, Ronnie Hornaday chased his truck up the hill, got into the left rear quarter panel of Ricky Sanders' truck, and around it put Ricky in the outside wall fairly hard. Ronnie was able to keep his truck down on the bottom, and was not
a vehicle, doesn't he, Jerry?
Yeah, he has. We were talking to David. You watch again what happened to David Donahue. What a likable young man. He loops it around and might have had a little help from behind there when that thing all started, but David is...
Up like somebody got behind him and lifted the wheels off the ground. Truck of Jim Engelbright ran down on the grass and slid up the racetrack into the left rear corner of Willie T's truck and turned him around.
Look, he might have been on the brakes trying to slow down a little bit.
I think he was trying to slow down to avoid him, but ended up... Trouble, Dennis Setzer. Here he is on the inside of Lance Hooper in the 9 truck and got a little bit loose getting in the corner. Made a little contact with Lance. Tried to keep the truck off of Lance and was unfortunately unable to keep control of it. I don't think any contact with the outside wall. Now the...
Being waved against again by Ron Selby.
Got a crash right in front stretch.
And a lot of trucks heavily damaged on the restart. Tolsma gets it from the front and the rear. Chuck.
See go down on the inside. Came down, did not know that Rick Corelli was coming on the inside, came down and a little bit of contact and around he went, but some significant damage to the left rear quarter of... See another look at it. You see the truck, you see Jack got a little bit sideways, turned back to the left to try to catch it. Travis got into his left rear quarter and around he went.
There's a lot of trucks out there, several laps down, and they know the big picture is the championship as we have another spin out on the track.
And that's Brian Refner, who got a little bit of a tap, or got a significant tap from behind, but going to go to Ronnie.
There's Ronnie coming off of turn 4. You could see the right front tire go down and made pretty hard contact. Unfortunately, came off the wall and just got hit by a little bit on the left side by Nathan Hosley. Not screen there in the 8 Dodge truck. He gets a little bit sideways, jumped in the throttle, got a little bit sideways, was able to keep it from backing up the hill into the outside wall. Almost had it saved and got off into the infield grass, but did not.
Only his there. You see the truck back in it. Did he have a left rear?
That's live. That's actually live right there. He had a left rear tire flat. I started to say the left rear tire flat. He was trying to get around to get caught up. You see a little bit of a chain reaction deal right there. The 46 of Dennis Setzer got into the 51 of Donnie Neuenberger, and that turned him up in front of these guys, and that's where all the damage came from. But it was a chain reaction deal that started that. And
caution, this is what happened on lap number 70 down in turns 1 and 2.
There's already some trouble. You see the Tom Powers on the outside there, the blue truck. There's Willie T. No, I'm sorry, that's not Willie T. But that's Lance Nork backing in the Tom Powers. That's where his damage came from. That was a 58 truck of Chris Horn. Good to see him back. Play of what happened there. A little bit of contact right now. A little bit of contact from the 81 truck, I think, of Nathan Butke.
33-year-old Rodney Sawyers runs primarily at South Boston, Virginia. Finished second in the. He's running currently second in the points. He finished second in the points last year by 4 points to Nick Woodward. Happened here on the restart.
It looked like Donnie Neuenberger just got sideways on his own there. You see Willie T did a great job not getting into him any more than he did. Dennis Setzer just flashed by in the 46.
With the truck here, you watch the contact again by Gibbs, youngest son of Joe Gibbs in the MB&A Chevy, and just loops Tolsma around, and nothing you can do there when you get turned.
No, not especially not at Dover, as we talked about earlier a couple times. You know, the
involved in the 21 and 50.
See, Morgan Shepherd, the 21 truck, got in the back of Chuck Hosfeld in the 50. Around he went. He did a great job. You know, we talked about how hard it is to spin here and not hit anything, but Chuck was able to do that. You see, Jimmy
came on pit road before the pits were open. And we'll come
trouble. Rick Crawford in the 14 truck got together with Terry Cook. They were lapped down, trying to get their lap back, trying to stay in front of the leader, and had some contact
here on lap number 20.
There you see Chuck right there. He was on the apron, actually already sideways. Almost saved the truck, got around, and had made some pretty hard contact with the outside wall. But again, the guys did a great job getting by him. Oh, it just got a little bit high. You know, we talked about Travis Proppel going wide before. He got a little bit too high. Almost had it saved. Got clipped by Lance Hooper, and nowhere to go for Rich Woodland, and he hit him almost head on.
Well, Patrick Lawler did a nice job of not hitting him in the door. And
care what happened. You see, there's Carlos. Looks like on the outside there. We saw earlier Matt Crafton in that yellow truck. Carlos was on the outside, got in the loose stuff, and around he went. There could have been some contact before that, but.
A little different angle now in the Safelite Auto Glass Chevy. Up across the racetrack, just getting by, is Chris Horn, and there is Eric Jones out of Granger, Iowa.
Getting down into turn number 1. Oh, there we go.
Gibbs pitches it down, and it goes around on him. Here is Crawford by on the inside. And that will bring out the caution flag for the 5th time today. On the right side, and Tom Carey on the inside in the 03.
You see, Tom, he's way up into the second groove there. Didn't leave John much room, so he got up into John. You see him there, almost have it saved, but you see the wheels turn to the right. The truck finally catches, and around it goes back the other way. We call that overcorrecting, but he was able to keep it out of the wall. You see him getting the wheel spinning, getting going. He didn't want to stay there.
was up high, right up against the wall there. There's the lap truck of the 74 of Jason Small, and don't know if he maybe kind of pushed John up a little bit, so he got up in the loose stuff.
Now, you might want to tighten your seatbelt from the sofa. It's just from what Brendan saw.
You could hear it. Brendan got loose, getting in the turn, chased it up the hill, got up in the loose stuff, and then he actually got back in the throttle. As soon as he got back in the throttle, he was up in that loose stuff. The wheel
forward. He brings out caution number 5.
Same situation. He was up a little bit high on the high side, tried to correct it, almost had it, tried to turn away from Willie T. Ribbs, and the thing turned around and made a little bit of contact with the outside wall.
You know, Randy, first lap to bring out the yellow.
You see, he just got loose, getting in the corner there. He chased it and chased it, chased it. And I know how that feels, Doc, and kind of ran out of racetrack there and got sideways, got looped around. No damage, no contact with the outside wall, no contact with any other truck. So he'll get back going and be in good shape.
Now, you qualified 5th and ran competitively in the Busch. A little different angle. Watch the contact here, or is there a contact? You see Ricky spinning. Watch the 2 and the 20.
Yeah, if there wasn't contact, they came awfully close there. But you see all the smoke, and when the drivers come off turn 4, they get in that smoke and they can't see.
As a driver, what do you do when you're driving into a cloud? I mean, do you just keep it straight and hold on, or
you keep it straight and rely on your spotter to tell you which way to go? That's why the spotters become invaluable. But a lot.
Boy, Gibbs trying to stop, and Riggs stayed out of the back of Gibbs, and Hendrick still slipping, and now
trucks going everywhere.
Half a dozen trucks slipping and sliding here on the tri-oval area. Second best finish of the year, 15th at Kansas Speedway, and there's contact, and the Dodge of Ribbs goes around, Tolsma goes around.
Stop.
And caution out for the 4th time. Looks like Tolsma didn't hit anything. Billy Bigley. There is the contact between Musgrave and Crafton, and Musgrave will go in the wall, spin around, and the leader tapped in the left rear as he's going by Matt Crafton. Now Tolsma was able to get around Hensley. Whoa, and Gibbs is sideways. Can he save it?
Catch it.
Jumps in the throttle.
Jimmy. Oh, just caught the rear of Jimmy Hensley.
We just fired and we got hit.
Happened a moment ago, lap 144.
See, Dennis Setzer already going out of the screen right there. Lance already turned around, backed in the inside wall pretty hard.
And he was another look. You see him up to the left side of your picture, the outside of turn 2, trying to hang on.
Looking at from that view, I'm not sure it looks like the right rear tire is flat. I'm not sure.
Rick Ware. Now take a look at it from Rich's onboard camera.
Well, there was some contact there. You saw Carlos Contreras right in front of Scott.
And we got one truck just bouncing off the wall. Here's another truck that it turns 1 and 2. That's Billy Bigley.
Back off. You got him wrecked.
You hear this?
Well, Jerry, it was really a pretty simple call for the guys on the 17, and Riggs is a spinner. The number 2 truck goes around one more time. I was going to talk about Ricky Hendrick because they just stayed out, but we've got more trouble for the number 2 truck. Now, these guys did make contact with the wall earlier in the day. The number 2 truck did, just with the...
John going down into turn number 1 there. What happened? Travis Quapple got in the back of Larry Gunzelman, got him turned around into the outside wall, and John Wood made some contact with the outside wall trying to avoid them, and Ronnie Hornaday is going to come in here extremely hard. You see Lance Norton get turned around there trying to avoid Kyle Busch in the 99 truck.
And I'm sorry, Wood was facing away from Hornaday, so here comes Hornaday. Ronnie Hornaday the third. Up off the wall, ricochets into the back of John Wood's Eldon Ford.
Side by side, Ted Musgrave on the inside there. He turned the wheel to try to stay off Ricky Hendrick was not able to do so. So he turned Ricky around. Ted went into the outside wall a little bit. I'm not sure Ricky made any contact with the outside wall. You see Jim Engelbright on the inside in the yellow truck, and there's Willie T in the center of the racetrack in the 8 truck.
Turn 2, our crew, kudos to our crew. That camera got knocked off the wall in lap 10 by Trouble. And a spin by Ricky Hendrick. Lance Norrick spins, and will he get tagged? No, great job by Woodward to miss Norrick.
Coming off of turn 4 right there. He just gets loose. Got Coy Gibbs right up behind him. Got loose, overcorrected, got into the outside wall. Coy did a great job in the 20 truck getting by him, but a tough break for Bill Lester. As you mentioned, Jerry, he was just a great guy. And similar situation to what Joe Ruttman. Rick tried. Ooh, a lot of contact. Sprague's going around.
Sprague goes around. Kyle Busch gets him straightened back up. And no, well, the caution will come out now. And moving in on Billy Bigley now. Let's see what happens. Was there contact here?
Well, he locked up the brakes. You saw the left front tire stopped turning, so he locked up the brakes. And when he did, obviously the tires weren't gripping anymore, and he slid up into Billy Bigley, and around he went. Horrible.
And that happened right in front of the leader, just about about 2 trunk lengths behind him.
On the inside right there, he runs across the apron a little bit there. Actually tries to dodge Donnie Neuenberg in the 81 truck and gets the truck a little bit loose and sideways, and I don't think he made any contact, if any, a little bit of contact, but he stalled the truck, and before he could get it refired, he ended up looking at what happened here. A lot of smoke. I don't know if there was an engine problem or another situation where the brakes locked the brakes up. It looked more like an engine problem right there. You could hear Scott trying to get the truck slowed down. He was on the brakes and slowing down, and he still made hard contact with the wall. Little contact there from the inside from the 91 truck of Michael Rich. Looks like there's going to be a little contact right there from Billy Bigley in the 75 truck. Just a little bump, but just enough to get him turned around. Lance was running in the 15th position, and that's how short this racetrack is. He got going very quickly, and we're looking back right now at Kyle Busch. You see, going to see the rear tire come off, hit the wall first, and hard contact with the outside wall for Kyle Busch. But I think the truck's still. Here's another angle. You see Matt Craft in the yellow number 88 get in the back of Billy Lester, turn him around. Now there's a chain reaction deal. Mike Blitz might have got a little help, got turned around, but I don't think he had hardly any damage, but his truck wouldn't refire. On board, his power stroke on board. See the 61's already in the outside wall. Then there's some contact, some great moves by a couple guys to get by this. That's Nick Woodward right in front of Terry Cook, so he's going to get one of his laps back. He's only.
Watch this lick here in the back. Boom, and Willie T also. And then they pushed Morgan Shepherd right up into the wall. He had nowhere to go. Great camera work, guys, giving a great angle of all those trucks involved in an incident down in turn 1. Hard to cover.
On this racetrack, lap after lap after lap. Got a spin coming off turn number 2.
The 32 truck has spun around. That is Eric Norris, and he comes hard into the inside concrete.
Fortunate for him. Here you see him right there. He's right in front of Jack Sprague. You see the engine let go. Almost turns Dennis Setzer around. Jack's trying to get around him. We'll see.
I think Jack just may have just brushed the wall, but very, very lucky.
I mean, he was wide open going for the pass on the outside, jumped on the brakes, never lost control with the truck.
See him on the inside right here. You see ran across the apron. That might have been what done it. It may not have been the air off the spoiler. He ran his left side across the apron.
I believe he brushed the wall in the tri-oval area prior to even going into turn one at the very beginning of this replay. He might have. Show you again. Look at the right side of your screen.
Lot of contact. That is hard contact at that kind of angle right there. So we saw the smoke well before he hit the wall. So more than likely something happened to the engine. The engine let go, got in his own oil. You see there the flames from the oil on the headers and things like that. But tough break for the K Automotive Power Stroke team. See parts coming rolling down the racetrack right there, right above Dennis Setzer as he flashes by.
See the.
Let's take another look at it. You see him just get sideways coming off of turn number 4. Keeps it on the outside wall, though, spins down to the grass. Unfortunately, he's going to lose a lap doing this, but no contact.
Young man did a nice job. Brian Rose out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, at 21 years of age, the Sunclear Energy Racing Chevy. You can see what happened there. You see his truck already spinning. Travis Quapple just does miss him in the truck. Loops around again with the back. He almost had it saved, and when it caught,
went the other direction. Sure did it. Looked like hard contact into the outside wall.
And right into the back of him is another. That looks like this. That's Ricky Hendrick that made contact with the back of that truck. The 73 went up into the wall. That is Lonnie Richardson. Third spot. See if we can see what happened to Setzer.
Almost looked like a throttle hanging or something like that, because you could see the smoke before he got to the corner. Looks like maybe he had locked the brakes up because of a throttle hanging.
White checkered flag finish.
So what happened? Lance Nork is up in the right here. This was all started by Lance Nork having some sort of a problem, and it got all the trucks jumbled up together. And I think
Scott moved to the inside there, and it looks like Scott did not have him cleared. Kind of moved up the racetrack, got into John. That turned him into Jack and put them both in the outside wall.
At these speeds, as you what happened a moment ago to Tom Kerr.
Tom was on the outside. Look at he had a tire problem. You saw the casing of the tire come off there, looks like. I don't think it was a complete tire and wheel, because I think we can see the wheel still on the truck. So he has some sort of a tire problem.
Here's what happened a moment ago with the 47 of Jerry Hill.
He's on the inside of Corey Gibbs in the 20 truck. Lost a little air off the spoiler, and around he went, but fortunately made no contact with neither Corey or the inside wall.
Here's what happened to Brian Rose in the 41, right side of your screen.
All by himself there. He was way behind that battle for the 10th position, so all by himself was